Oh, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Be More Super Live. It's been a while since we've done a live, and I cannot wait to talk about this subject. And it wouldn't be the same with my friend across the pond. It's Mike. Mike, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thanks, dog.
Uh, you know what? It's been a long time. It would be really nice to catch up.
It's
And
been a
and
while. I've had a change of scenery. There's been a lot of changes in my life. This is really it's swell to be here. Yeah, we did the what was it? How many years ago was that shit that we did?
do you know what? It was probably about 3 years ago. Three. And
Yeah.
hey, you know what? We've got slightly older, but our hearts have grew bigger for what we're going to be talking about
So
in
how's
a.
my belly?
Listen, dad bods are in. Don't listen to anyone else. Dad bods are in. But I'd like
Listen,
to. Yes, go on.
I would actually like to fit back into a costume at some point. Maybe not the current one, but I have some ideas on costumes. But I have some good Puerto Rican cooking over here, so that'll never happen.
Oh, that's it, mate. That's it. You're settling down. So, like, your body is over. Literally, you get into that, the comfortable stage, and like you're just like well fed, and it goes downhill from there. But I want
Spoiled.
to say hello to everyone watching live. Thank you so much. We're going to be talking about, of course, James Gunn's Superman, and I can't be more excited. Do you know what? I'm gonna give you a little rundown of what this week has been about. But before I do, there's a little bit of a disclaimer, Mike. Believe it or not, you're not getting paid for this show. I'm not
I'm
getting
not.
paid for this
No.
show. This is purely independent.
Right.
And I just want to put it out there for all the lovely people on Facebook, because do you know what? I've learned a very good lesson in the last couple of days where, do you know what? There are some lovely people out there, but sadly, there are some individuals that like to use their energy for better things than actually saying positive things and being nice. So we haven't got room for that, have we, Mike? Because we're
We
talking
don't.
about this great film.
We don't. And and just to there I understand passion, right? We all have passion for things. Clearly based on what you can see in this little box of mine. I love Superman. I have loved Superman uh since the day I was born. I have thousands of comics. I have autographs from all over. I've met Henry. I've met most of the living Supermen. And we're just here to spread the positivity and spread the love, and no one is getting paid.
And I've got to say, Matt, I know Matt. So this is like an actual inside joke because 100% paid review. Do you know what? My wife even saw those comments and said, "Well, if that's the case, where's the money?" Because you know what I mean. So
That's
basically,
what's up, bro.
yeah, I mean the last week. So I got invited by Warner Brothers UK, because what they do, they look at all fans across the UK, people that are posting their excitement, and I got invited to the Superman fan event in London, where when
Nice.
I went, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how the event was going to go on. So off I
Didn't
went
know
to
what was going
London with a few pictures, thinking I was going to be in one of the pens to get an autograph and all that jazz. And I arrived and I got told, no, you're going down the red carpet. You're not in the pens. You're going down the red carpet and straight in. And we went in and we're getting ready to see half an hour of the movie. This was last Tuesday. And there is a video on my YouTube channel, with the Q&A. So we were like literally 10 feet away from James Gunn, Peter Safran, Rachel Brosnahan and Nicholas Hoult
Right.
and David Corenswet. And it was the most surreal experience I've ever had, being that close and them waving, making eye contact and thinking these guys are going to be like some of the biggest names in the world in a matter of a
Right.
week, if not all already. And the excitement started. And then I went to go and see the media screening on Wednesday, which was absolutely packed. And do you know what? There is nothing better than being in a cinema full, absolutely full. The IMAX theatre is enormous in London, in
No.
Leicester Square. Being in a cinema, I was saying it to the wife, and being in a room just full of Superman fans, watching this film with all fans. It was incredible. Literally,
Sure.
the atmosphere was electric. So, with the run up of this movie, what was your sort of, what were you excited about and what were you hesitant about?
Well, let Brian, before I feel like we start this sideshow, we should just kind of say that there probably going to be spoilers. And since the movie's only been out technically since yesterday, Friday, Saturday, we are probably going to talk about stuff that we saw in the movie, that happened in the movie. So if you have not seen the movie yet, um, yeah, watch the replay. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't want to. I don't want to ruin the
I
cinematic
don't think we're
experience
going to
for
go into
somebody.
details. I mean, we can talk about the characters and how good they are and what made them special because we all know Mr. Terrific's in it. We all know,
Oh yeah.
Guy Gardner, and we can talk about what makes those characters stand out. I don't want to talk about the story. I don't want to talk about any spoilers as such because I think we've
Okay.
got enough to actually talk about without actually spoiling
There's a
it.
lot to unpack, man. There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, there is. But just to remind everyone that is watching, if you've got any, constructive views, anything you want to mention about the film, if you've already seen the film, what you loved, what you maybe didn't like, and some love hearts would be quite nice.
Other than
We
calling
want to
them
share
diaper
the
boy.
Superman love. Yeah.
Right.
So, what was you hesitant about when you, getting ready to see the film? What were you worried about?
Costume. I've made no qualms that I didn't like the costume. I love the logo. It's Kingdom Come logo. It was actually also, people are like, oh, it's never been used before. If you will remember, it was also used at the end of the Crisis on Infinite Earths that Brandon Routh was in. That
Mm.
last scene where he does the Christopher Reeve flyby and looks, he's wearing the freaking same colors, man. So it's been used before, maybe a little different dimension wise, but the costume, it to me, it just, I was like, crap, it's gonna look like Kal-El raided Star-Lord's closet, and like, because it's got it's leathery and it's got the lines, and I was like, that's not fantastic. But I love Nicholas Holt. He's been in a ton of
Mm.
stuff, not just Beast. He's been in a lot of stuff. Brosnahan was in what was it, the Miss
Yeah,
Maisel.
yeah, yeah.
She's aces as an actress. Wasn't worried, zero worried about the cast. I mean, you worry, it's a Gunn movie, so you're like, all right, there's gonna be a lot of comedy. It's gonna be like a lot of jokey stuff, and it's gonna be a lot of like what he would listen to like on Spotify or something. It's gonna be his playlist. So I mean, all valid concerns. People were even like, oh well, crypto's not a Labrador, so poop, like silly stuff, and I wasn't worried about that. Ollie,
Holly,
that's fantastic.
seen it twice in 24 hours. That is
That's gangster. I love
crazy.
it.
I'm jealous. I am jealous. Do you know, I can't wait. I haven't taken the kids yet to see it. And I'm excited because this is the first real, well, it is going to be the first Superman film that I'll be able to take my kids to. I would say, though, there are parts in it that I just was a bit of shock and awe, without going into details, what you didn't expect was going to happen. Something to do. I can't go into details. But
Were
yeah,
they fight scenes?
no, it's something. Something happens to someone
Okay.
by
Oh yeah.
Lex.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I get
yeah,
it.
and that
Yeah.
was a bit of a shocker. But talking about his suit, I actually quite liked his suit. It was very tactical. It's something different. I mean, we
It was
can.
different. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, thing is though, what I mean, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Snyderverse, Snyder bots, Snyder fans. Um, you and me are on the same wavelength in the way that we liked Man of Steel. Am I right?
Listen, I can't. I know you probably can't see it from here. I have a whole shelf to Man of Steel and Superman stuff. I've met Henry, like in Long Island, New York. I've met him. I have autographs, statues. I freaking loved it. I was as bummed as anybody else when they were like, "Nah, no more Henry. Goodbye." So I get it, but he's
Mm,
also not coming back.
exactly.
So
And when people compare Man of Steel to this film, this new film, I just think it's not fair. It's two completely different films with different tones, different feels. And
Yeah.
Snyder brought a dark, gritty, animalistic sort of visceral sort of feel to Superman and that story. This one is more straight out the comic book. Sort of, it
Snyder
gives
looked
that
at
vibe.
Snyder looked at superheroes, I feel like, more as gods. Like he
Mm.
actually looked at them not as like, comic books and it was the creation of two Jewish immigrants. He doesn't look at it. He looked at it more as like the pantheon of like, you know, superheroes and what should they look like. And everybody in that movie looks like, they've been working out their entire life and they look like bodybuilders and they look amazing. And they had the aesthetic of superheroes. Henry had the square jawline. He was massive. They showed the dude, coming out of the water in that first scene in Man of Steel, where he's coming out looking like, it was like a holy crap, that's Superman. But it was a very modernized take on the world of superheroes, right?
Mm.
Gunn went the opposite direction, and he looked more into the comic book aspect. He looked at it more from I've said it 100 times to 100 different people that it is like if you took a 3-parter episode of Superman the animated series and right down to the power levels, and that's what you have,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I want to talk about the characters individually, and so it's only
Sure.
rightly so if we talk about the man himself, David Corenswet, as Superman.
You have the pop-ups.
I have,
That's awesome.
I
Look at this
have.
program, man. You're all
Do you know
fancy.
what? I am
Woo!
literally all prepared. So when he, let's compare him, okay? Because everyone's going to compare him with Reeve, with Ralph, with Tyler, and all the others. How do you feel? Because I think he plays in this film Superman very, very well. I think you see the vulnerability, you see the desperation in his face a lot. He's very good at what he does, and I like this version of Superman because
Yeah.
he is vulnerable and he's human. What is
Yeah.
your view on David Corenswet as the new Superman?
Um, you could tell, David is a big nerd. He's not the same nerd that Henry was. He's a Star Wars nerd. He said it
Mm.
100 times. He's read the comics. Whether he was told to read the comics for the movie or not, the
Yeah,
man at least knows his stuff. I mean, again, Henry did too, and I'm not discounting any of that. But you could tell that it comes from a place of love that he talks about when he goes into some of his speeches and some of the things he says and even his swear words in the movie. Like it's very like he read like All-Star Superman, and he read Superman for All Seasons, and he read like a bunch of them to prepare for this role. You could very well tell that he did,
yeah.
and I love that. I just saw clips of him on Sesame Street.
I know. Do you know what? That was a throwback for me with Reeve and Miss Piggy and all that, like when she
From the
was on
Muppet
he was
Show,
on the
yeah.
Muppets. But I saw an interview with Corenswet and Will Reeve, and it was
Yep, I saw that
very
one. Yep,
very
yep,
nice. Where it just you could see in David's face how much responsibility he's got on his shoulders and how proud he is of what he's achieved. And the one thing I like about this is the relationship between Clark and Lois, because it's something I
oh
feel
yeah.
that we haven't seen before. And my favorite
Well,
scene is where they have an argument. And it's not sort of your comical, over the top argument. It's actually a real, it feels like an argument you would have with your other half. And the
yeah,
way it was
but they
done,
made it. They framed it in such a way, though, Bry, where it was like it was an interview. It wasn't. It was more. It starts out as it being, Lois interviewing Superman, but then obviously because they're the same person, it kind of starts turning more personal, and then he feels like he's being attacked, I guess, or he's getting extra questioned by one of the best reporters in Metropolis, if not in the world. You know, she comes off. This is Lois, and I know we'll get to her in a minute. But I mean, Rachel was a bang up Lois, and you really felt that she was that investigative reporter without bringing that damsel of distress into it. Where Like, and again, I'm not pooping on Margot Kidder, but she wasn't like hanging to the bottom of the elevator in the Eiffel Tower screaming for Superman. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah.
She took action herself, and she went to go, save the day herself.
But isn't it quite refreshing that this film starts 3 years after Superman comes on the scene? So we're not getting that origin story, because we've already had that so many times before, and it's quite refreshing to get straight into the action.
Gunn has said that there's 3 things that he never wants to see on screen again, 2 of them which he can actually control. One is the crime alley scene, and 2 is obviously Cal coming to Earth, and 3, he said he never wants to see Peter Parker getting bit by a radioactive spider again.
Fair enough.
So it's now the man's in control of freaking DC Studios. So if you don't want to see Batman again and his parents getting shot in the alley, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. But do you know what? I'm just thinking back to that scene with the interview, and I just love the sort of the dynamic. And we're all going to talk about Lois Lane as I bring up a lovely picture there of Lois Lane. Absolutely stunning performance. They couldn't pick a better. When she was announced as the Lois Lane, I was really pleased, because I don't know what your view of Kate Bosworth was, because she didn't have many fans from Superman Returns, and
Too young.
Yeah, but
Skinny.
it's actually Rachel's. I think it's Rachel's birthday today. She's 35.
Yeah, just her birthday was
today
or
yesterday? Yeah. But again, what the nice thing about the film was, it wasn't just focused the whole film on just Superman or Lois.
No,
it was an ensemble piece which James Gunn is used to doing, and he does it extremely well. I mean, with Lois Lane, have you got a favorite bit or favorite thing about her that you think makes her stand out, or would you change anything about the character?
This, you mean specifically Rachel's Lois?
Yes.
The fact that they had her in purple, to me, was bomb.
Yeah.
The fact that they put her in purple, again, animated series throwback. Lois, Dana Delaney's Lois was always in purple. I mean, even they had her in the comics. What was it, after the Byrne reboot? She had purple. She was supposed to have purple eyes.
Oh, I don't know. I know
she was supposed to have purple eyes at some point, but I mean, I think people got away from that. But I like the purple, and I mean, she was tough. She was a tough reporter. She was not. She didn't back down from her boyfriend. Who's Superman. She didn't back down from going to help try saving the day. She didn't. She accepted everything as normal. Oh, you have a superpowered dog. Okay. You didn't tell me that. It's so I get it. So she was a tough cookie, and you could tell that she was genuinely interested, and you could tell that there was a chemistry between her and David.
And you could tell when she was with Mr. Terrific that she wasn't scared, that she actually went head first in. But talking about the purple, when I was watching it thinking there's something really familiar with the colours, and then it clicked. They've got a question there, Bart, from Andrea. Can't wait to see it. Can you see it in 4D? I'm sure you can.
So yeah, they have the 4DX. They have 4DX. This isn't a Mixus-Pitalik thing. You can actually see them. They have 4DX theaters. I don't know if they have them over there on your side, but they have it where you sit down and it's the seats rumble, and there's like, if it's a water scene, they might mist you a little. If something with heat, you might get a blast of hot air. Like it's like kind of like more of an interactive thing. James Gunn actually said that it is best seen in IMAX 3D. However, I will not go see it in IMAX 3D because my lovely lady does not like the 3D aspect of it, so I won't go see it in that.
But I know what you like. You like strong cookies.
Hey, there she is. There's my girl.
Lovely ladies there. It was good timing. That was. What does that mean? Strong cookies.
Her.
Oh,
She's very.
it's an American term. Okay, I get it now. Now
She's,
you said
she's
it like
a
that.
yeah. My girl's a tough cookie, and she is as much of a Lois, a Rachel Brosnahan Lois as they come. Smart. We're not going to start gushing about my fiance. I do that enough to her in every single podcast that I'm in. But tough cookie, strong, creative, badass, balls to the wall type of gal. So, yeah,
Do you
tough
know
cookie.
what? Do you know what? My daughter Lois is becoming a lot more like Lois before my very eyes. I mean, she's so determined. She don't take no for an answer. She's very stubborn, and I'm seeing it every single day. Stephanie, there. Oh, his lovely lady. Oh, we're getting all mushy now.
Well, because
So
these are my lady has posted on her pages, and there's Bradley. Hi, Bradley. Well, these are my people,
are they
Bryan.
your people? Your tribe,
My
as they
tribe.
call it. Ah.
Bradley, are you in Puerto Rico? Do they respond? How fast do they respond to this, Bryan?
Literally about 15 seconds lag.
Okay, bloody hell.
I would say.
He was
So
in Puerto Rico to go watch it. He actually went to, I believe, go see it in Puerto Rico. So I'm curious as to his experience with the 4D. But
and over the weekend, I want to say hello to Leon. Over the weekend, no lie, right? So I met Leon in London when I was at London Film and Comic Con, and we were sat down having a drink, and we were friends of friends. And I put my phone down, he put his phone down, and our phones lit up, and we both had Superman screensavers. And then we looked at the phones, looked at each other. And it was just amazing. But he's a massive Superman fan, and we continued talking the whole night about Superman. But he's been to the BFI IMAX, which is the one in London, which is the best cinema to watch it. And he said it's incredible, which is really good to see. But I'm loving the comments. So Andrew there again said, yeah, she is badass, which is good. And then, talking about, villains in this film. I've got to make sure I put up the right one, because if I don't, it'll look mighty silly. Good old Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult, I rate as an actor, and I always have. With this film, we compare with Gene Hackman, Michael Rosenbaum, many others. But with Nicholas Hoult, I think he does a superb job with getting the audience to believe where the sort of anger and the jealousy and the bitterness against Superman is. When you saw him with the bald head on screen for the first time, what were your impressions?
Well, I like the fact that Nicholas has said that his oldest son was the one that actually shaved his head for him.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but I listen. As you have said, I liked Nicholas in many things that he's been in. He is a profoundly talented actor. I also think it's funny that he's tried out for not only Superman but the Batman movie as well. And he did a great job with the whole classic villain, like basically admitting that he's jealous.
Mm.
I don't really feel like it's not really a spoiler. It's freaking Lex Luthor,
Yeah.
so it's not. I didn't. But he admits that he's jealous of Superman, and he's of him in general more so than all the other metahumans that are on Earth. And then there's the whole debate on whether metahuman versus alien, but that's a whole nother story. But he did a really good job as conveying, like, they made him the businessman. They made him very like, he has the professional, front, but then behind the scenes, he's manipulating everything. So I feel like he did a fantastic job. And all of the interviews, they all look like they got along so damn well.
They did, but the one thing about the interviews, I don't know if you noticed it, but oh my God, how many times did they go over the fact that Nicholas Hoult originally auditioned for Superman?
Well, a lot, since I just mentioned it.
But no, and I didn't realize that he actually auditioned for the part of Batman that Robert took, which I think is crazy. So he didn't get Batman, he didn't get Superman, but I think things happen for a reason, and I think he plays an amazing Lex Luthor. and I just can't wait to actually see more of him. But it does a good job, especially with the scene. Again, not spoiling it because it's in one of the trailers, but the scene when Superman comes in the room trying to find his dog, and I thought that was amazing. Again, we are a country. Well, you're a country of free speech. David Smart just put, "I wish I could get the Men in Black mind whip out because oh my god, I hate this film. I want to forget this film as much as possible." But the question is,
Okay.
David, why?
Why?
What
Yeah.
what did they not deliver? What could they have done better to not
Right.
get you to get that whip out and forget the film? Because this is the thing for me. It's one person's vision. There's a group of writers. It's a bit like when they take films from books. People are never going to
Mhm.
be 100% satisfied because
Can't
when
make
you read
everybody
it,
happy.
yeah. But
Yeah.
David, please reply. I want to know
Yeah.
exactly why you didn't like this film, which is a bit disappointing. But you know
You know what
what? We
though,
can't.
dude? I get it. It's disappointing to somebody who liked the movie, but at the same time, like if somebody doesn't like it for valid reasons, then you totally understand. If it's
Mm,
something that they didn't like, if the way I look at it, and I was trying to figure this out before, Man of Steel and that the Injustice video game, the one where Superman's the bad guy,
yeah.
they came out within 2 months of each other. So 2013, you saw a very different Superman than what we were used to for like decades prior, and like even now it was a very like brutal and more, and I'm not saying Henry's brutal, I'm just saying that it was a different, more handsy, hand-on, cold Superman than people were used to. and
Mm,
I, and I and you wonder how much of that has people like, well, I like the more modern take on Superman. I liked it where it was more like, a grim and gritty. And that works for a lot of people, and that might work for some people. But if as a comic book reader, I liked the hope, and I liked the colorfulness, and I liked and I get it's a very, people are like, oh well, it's simplistic and it's childish, but it's a comic book, for Christ's sake. You're
it's
not
not
reading
real
the
world.
authority. You're not reading the authority. You're not reading like even like the Ultimates, the Marvel Ultimates, where like
Mm.
everybody got eaten or killed or something. Like it's Superman. It's Superman, for Christ's sake. It's supposed to be a beacon of hope and you know goodwill towards men and everything else.
I mean, do you feel that this film has got a fresh story? Do you feel that they've done justice by the story? Because I know a lot of people have said it's a bit of a boring, story. Some of the cast did save it. Me, I quite liked it. It kept me so entertained. I thought it was great. The 2 hours was over before I knew it. But what's your opinion on the story? Do you think it held up? Were you happy with it?
So, Superman Returns, Superman 1, and Man of Steel, Lex Luthor all dealt with land, getting land, stealing land, right? Every single one of them, right? Well, less Man of Steel, but Lex, not, he wasn't in it, but you know what I mean.
Mm,
There was more of a Superman Returns, and Superman were more about him getting land. Man of Steel didn't deal with any of that. It it was a different story, and I felt like, and I've been reading comics for decades. I started reading comics with the death of Superman. I went backwards. I was collecting solid until about maybe 2020. Since then, I've accumulated dozens of graphic novels and omnis and everything else to try catching up. It feels like it's an original story. You have to have Lex in it. Is it oversaturated with people? Again, if you watched any of the animated series shows, there was always a guest star. There was always another superhero
mm.
that was in them, especially in the later seasons. Justice League Unlimited. Look at how many freaking people were in Justice League Unlimited. There was usually 3 to 4 people in every Justice League Unlimited episode. And
Mm.
that's hailed as one of the best animated series of all times.
Yeah.
So I think that it was in an original story. Again, in the trailers, the kaiju was interesting. That all of a sudden, like, where the hell does Lex get a kaiju from? Like, it's just all it's
It's
so it's
silliness,
very
isn't it?
silvery.
it's very silly, and it's very. But then that's comic bookish. Do you know what I mean? You don't go and read a comic to find out the meaning of life, and you know, what I mean? You go and get entertained. And this is
42.
where we see the Justice Gang, which I think is hilarious, which is one of the best parts of this film. I wish that Hawk Girl didn't make that annoying noise, but I know.
Dude.
Apart from that,
Screeching.
loved her. But that noise did my head in. But one person I think deserves a massive shout out, and I think you know what I'm going to say, is this man here.
Oh, Mr. Bullcut himself.
Oh,
Nathan Fillion, aka Malcolm Reynolds, aka Guy Gardner. Yes, I
oh.
know.
Do you know what? He made it for me. He's so funny, and the stuff he does in the film, and the comedy, and you know, the one-liners. I think is just him all over. Do you know if he's going to be in the new Lantern series?
He said
Because
he is,
look
and
at
he said in the Lantern series he drops more f bombs
F
than he
bombs.
had
Yeah,
his entire career.
yeah,
So but
yeah.
I listen. I think it's going to be good. I'm used to, and probably you as well. Nathan Fillion has voiced Hal Jordan for many years, so I was a little disappointed when they said that Nathan was not going to be Hal Jordan, but he did a fantastic job in it. He's the one that recommended the bowl cut as it is. They said that they gave him a couple wig options. He wanted to be more like Guy Gardner than they were willing to initially give him. His constructs were funny. He had a very Guy Gardner attitude. Again, the costumes, I get it. Maxwell Lord, sponsored team, I get it. I was hoping at some point maybe we were going to see something different, more traditional stuff, but loved him. Thought he was great.
And a lot of people have complained about crypto, saying, believe it or not, they shouldn't have crypto in the movie. But I'm not being funny. He's the most cutest, most adorable dog I have ever seen in my whole life. And for
And he's big.
anyone that's ever kept, yeah, if anyone's had a puppy or a dog and watches this, the way they've done it, I think, is amazing. And obviously, it's been heavily influenced on James Gunn's dog, especially the biting of the feet, which I thought
Yep.
was a quite nice touch to put it into the film. I went into it thinking, please don't let anything happen to the dog. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to ruin it for people, but if you're worried about that, I would say don't worry. But how much did you love crypto, and do you think it's important to introduce crypto into a news story?
So I was one of the people when they first announced what crypto was going to look like that I was like, well, what, as Superman said, what the hey, dude? Like, I really thought I was expecting not that breed of dog. I really wasn't. I was expecting more of the traditional,
Yeah.
you know, uh, you know, dog that he has been for whatever in comics. But he wasn't bad, and it explains at the end why he's an insane dog. Um, I get Gunn's sentiments behind it. He is an untrained dog, so the things that he does in it, and I'm sure people who have had dogs can probably relate to having a dog that is insane and bites feet and and doesn't necessarily listen unless it's something that has to do with the ball. So it's I get it. I mean, hell, dude, I went out. I bought the goddamn buckets. So I'm
You're all in.
there. I get it.
You're all in. You're all in. You're all pro crypto. It's
I'm pro
nice
dog,
though.
man. I've always been pro dog. Like I love dogs,
Yeah.
so I'm pro dog. So it's and again, I get Gun sentiment behind it. So I didn't have an inherent problem with crypto being in it. Crypto is a very smart dog in the comics, and he's a very smart dog even in the cartoon that he was in, the Crypto the Super Dog, and even in the movie, right, Super Pets that he did,
Mm.
that
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson produced.
Yeah.
Whatever
That
the hell.
was they've turned it into a computer game as well. Which came out. But it's quite nice to see crypto on screen. But let's talk about his parents, because his Earth parents, should I say? Because believe it or not, I found his Kryptonian parents. slightly annoying. And I don't mean that in a really bad way. I think that they could have done more with it. And when I first saw them, I, I got a bit confused on where it stood within the scene and stuff like that. And is that on all the time? Is there a snooze button that you can stop it, or is it literally
It seems
just on
like it
repeat?
seems like it's on all the damn time. Like even and
Yeah.
again, not spoilers because they showed them walking into the fortress. Like when they go into the fortress, the damn message is still playing. So it's just on constant repeat. Is that like yeah, I mean again, I feel like they really specifically made sure to stay far away from the origin stuff and not really make it such a big deal, and that they made
Mm.
it just that it was the message instead of even like the traditional Fortress of Solitude, right, where they have Jor-El and Lara both holding up the Krypton, like
Mm.
every like most fortresses have. Like, and again, it was a beautiful fortress. I kept looking around to see if there were like any other suits every time we saw it, if there were like Easter eggs in the background.
Of course, because there were rumors that he was going to get a new suit in the film, which I think comes out with every Superman film. It's like, I was going to get a new suit. It's going to get a new suit, but yeah. I mean, what I was going to say. The next thing I wanted to talk about was behind you, like myself as well. I suppose you can't see it. I've got the Justice League sideshow Hot Toys
Oh,
Superman and Batman behind my head. I don't know if you can see them.
okay.
And Hot Toys are releasing, well, for pre-order,
Yeah.
the one. I've got a picture of it here. I should have. Let me have a look. Here we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
So,
It's good.
will you be buying it, and what are your impressions? Because the thing is, likeness as being a thing that's always going to cause a deep conversation, because there are some statues out there that may not really. I think the worst one I've seen is that there was a model or a figure that was done where the face of Corin Sweat looked more like Shooter.
Shooter McGavin
Yeah,
from
and it
Happy
does.
Gilmore. Right.
And it does, and it does. So, what do
It
you
does.
think of this one? This is
I
about.
think the in art one is better.
Do you, do
If
you-
we're being honest, I think the in art one is much better. I think it's a better facial. It's a better facial likeness. I think the suit is. Oh. I think the suit is. Truth be told, I think it's too tight on him. It was a little looser. It's a little more loose. Excuse me, I was an English teacher. I should speak proper English. It was more loose in the movie than I think that they are making it um in the some of the figures. I think it had a little bit more bag to it. Like that's like hold on. No, it's
yeah,
here.
that
That's really like that's
to
skin
me
tight. And
is
James
is
Gunn
like
has
they've taken Henry Cavill's suit from the previous Superman and just literally redesigned the colors and everything like that, but used the same. It'd be actually a
yeah.
bit weird if. Let me just grab, just out of curiosity. We talking about that? That's got me thinking.
Get
That's
it.
got me.
We're here, dude. Oh
So
shit.
let me just.
Yeah.
Would you say that that is literally on par with the body
Yep.
of? It
Yep.
is, isn't it?
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And I mean, listen, Henry was a big boy. Henry, there how many videos did they come out of him working out and everything else? And listen, and David as well. But I feel like the costume, and Gunn has already said that he doesn't like the wet t-shirt look in his costumes. So you will never see a tight version, or at least that's what he's initially said. You will never see a tight version of the costumes.
There we go. Henry wants his cape back.
See?
but but yeah, I mean, he's doing well. I'm really considering getting it because I quite like it. Again, it's very hard to get the facial perfect. But
Look
for
up the in
something that
art one,
costs
bro.
about £260, it's
Yeah.
not that bad, to be fair. You
I
could be
know, but did
spending
you
your
buy
money
it?
on worse things, you
Well,
know.
I mean, it
So
depends on what work is. We're going. Listen, we're going to see we're going to see some Broadway shows and stuff. That's pretty fucking cool. But and I'm willing to spend the money on that. But I feel like, hold on, I'm trying to find. I've got the InArt one up.
Well, Rob has
And
said the Hot Toys suit color looks better than the in art.
Rob, I would agree with you on that. But the facial, I think the face on the InArt one is better. So I don't disagree with you.
And Secret Dance Move says that looks fine to me. You're nitpicking too much. But when you're spending your money and when it's a
Right.
big
When you're spending
company,
$300, you're allowed to nitpick a little. I mean, it's
of
like
course you
getting a
are.
tattoo. You know what I mean? Like you're spending money on a tattoo, you want the tattoo to look nice.
So James put, oh, now if he wore that suit with no blue pants, that would be super fantastic.
Jamie, we're not going to have a pantsless Superman.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine that.
No,
But
I know
yeah,
there's a lot of people that can, and I'm sure there's the fanfic for it, but this is not the
it's
no
not the
pantsless
show or
Superman.
the place. Well, I was gonna. There was a comment up here. I should have found it. It's something about. I want to quickly go on to Dean Cain. Because Dean Cain is the much loved Superman from Lois and Clark Adventures back in the 90s. And he made a comment, and someone's put, I can't find it now. Someone's put that he is bombing the movie, apparently. And he's
Yeah,
made some sort of comments about truth, justice, and the American way, and it being
yeah.
changed.
Is this getting is my picture getting wonky on my side? I feel like I'm
It's
pixelating a little
clearing
bit.
up slowly my side, so it's
Okay.
probably catching up. It's probably catching up, my friend.
I'm Italian. I move a lot. It's not my fault, Brian. I apologize. I'm not trying to do too much of this. So it's.
So,
Um,
do you think that all the controversy around Dean Cain saying what he's said, do you think that's Americans getting quite protective over their superhero and it being truth, justice, and the American way, but then losing the American way? Because to me, I wouldn't be bothered if they kept the American way, because Superman has always been in my life since day dot. And will a slogan stop me from loving my superhero? No. So what is it for the Americans that they don't like the fact that it's been changed from American way?
do you know why the American way started?
No.
The American way started way back when it was during like the time of communism and everything, and they were trying to make it so Superman was an American grown hero, and it was
Yeah.
more supposed to be more patriotic, right? And it's been used. The American way has been used in various pieces of merchandise over the years and everything else. But when you think about how often it was used in movies, right?
Mm.
Not often. It was used. Never in Man of Steel. In Lois and Superman and Lois, it was kind of said. He said, I'm here to fight for truth and justice, and Lois said, in the American way, and he said, oh, it sounds like someone's trying to figure out where I live, and they kind of went. In Superman Returns, Perry White, who was played by Frank Langella, said, he said, "Whoa, what does he stand? What does he still stand for? Truth, justice, all those things." So he didn't say it either. So
Mm.
it has been something, and yes, there has been one of the best comics that DC has ever put out for Superman. The What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way, right? One of the best comics in the entire universe about Superman that shows what he can do and what he chooses not to do because he is a better person when Manchester Black and everybody else tries to go after him, right? And they even made the animated movie about it. And Supergirl actually did one of their episodes titled the same thing, What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way, but they didn't quite go into the same thing. So you have people who are very patriotic, and
Yeah.
again, you can't tell somebody don't be patriotic, right? But I think sometimes uh some people feel like what the American way means to them is different than what it means now, and again, you're entitled to your opinion, right? That's the beauty of being in a free country. You are entitled to feel how you want to feel, but do your own research, make your own opinions. always go on facts rather than feelings. But all of a sudden, even Fox News over here, right? Everyone is going after the fact that they're leaving out the American way. They've left it out for a long time
Yeah.
from movies, and no one's really ever said anything. It actually stopped being used in the comics during the Grounded storyline, right? When he walked across America, which was a dumb story in and of itself, but it hasn't been used in a while, right? And even in that storyline, he renounces his American citizenship.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
So
I think people need to chill because for me, it's not a big thing. Secret Dance Move just put I think they said something else as well. Yeah, so with Ma and Pa Kent, which I've got to say in this film is absolutely adorable. Ma Kent, when she's talking into that phone, is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. I just want to cuddle her.
Secret
And
Dance Move, that's an excellent assessment. I like that a lot. That's an excellent assessment of that. But and it's funny when you first get Ma and Pa Kent, you're like, oh crap, they're just going to be some generic like Midwest like stereotypical what you'd see in another country version of the like Hicks as you would call them. And then once he goes back to the farm, I feel like you get a better feeling of who they are and how much they support him. And as Secret Dance Move said, they help him, really stick to who he is as a person.
that scene actually made me tear up, to be fair, because it was quite an emotional scene. And James Gunn even said that the death of his dad really influenced the screenplay, and the fact that he brought the movie out on the 11th of July, that would have been his dad's birthday, I thought was quite touching.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I thought that was a bit more heart to it. And Jamie's put on there. Do you think real Superman fans will be upset by anything Dean has to say? Anyway, part of my ignorance. Well. I'm going to be having Dean Kane on very very soon. So that's
Are
him.
you? Oh shit.
Yeah,
So listen, Dean Kane is at a con, right? If you meet Dean Kane at a con, he is
yeah,
very friendly. He's very nice. He is, everything, he's not political. He doesn't like, get into that shit. But his online persona and Twitter and everything else he's on is, I feel like, what people dislike about him. Like even like Kevin Sorbo, Hercules, for the old,
yeah,
and again, it's freedom of speech, but as they say, it's not freedom from consequences, right?
yeah. True.
So Dean, and people are like, oh, Dean's trying to be relevant and trying to stay this. It's how he feels, man. If that's what he wants to say, if he wants to turn around and say, I eat shoes and I walk backwards and I think the sky is green, well, that's his choice. It's up to you to either A, do the research if you're like, well, he's saying all this stuff, what does he mean? Or B, just go, I like Superman anyway, F him, I'm not going to listen to him.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, a lot of stars, and like I've mentioned to you before, obviously the live stars started. There's a lot of stars that we all know very well that behind closed doors can be very awful and not very nice at all. But yeah, so let's. I just want to go on to before we close this live stream. I've noticed that you've got He-Man and Skeletor behind you. Just quickly, bit off subject. Are you excited about the film?
Yes and no. It's always. I will never ever say that I am okay. I'm excited about the Supergirl film. I was excited about the Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen characters in the we didn't even talk about all the other ones in the film, but there were a lot of standout characters who I didn't think I was going to like. When it comes to or not that I was going to like, that I wasn't sure about until they fleshed them out. And again, they had had a lot of comic book relevancy. But the He-Man, I like it. I'm a fan. And then they're like, Jared Leto is Skeletor, and I'm like, Jared Leto, like the sword looks good. Like the dude worked out. Like Nicholas worked out. He looks big. The costume that they show kind of looks good. They're there's a lot of good to it. The Jawbridge is that, you see the behind the scenes stuff. There's Jawbridge, Evelyn. No mention of Orko yet, so who knows? But like the Superman movie, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic.
And I'm going to throw some images on screen. I want you to give 3 words to your impressions of these actors. So here we go. So Jimmy Olsen.
Let's see. Accurate, ladies' man, which is still one word, and fun. Fuck it, fun.
Yeah,
I liked him.
yeah.
He was fucking great. He did a great job. I was super excited that they did they really went with the, how the hell is Jimmy getting all these girls aspect like he does in the comic.
And he doesn't
Spot on.
realize. And he doesn't realize. I love that. He doesn't
Spot on.
realize. He's like, what? She's hot.
Mhm.
And then we got this man here, which I've got to say, I think you could pull that with your luscious mustache. I think you could pull this off as a cosplay, Mike.
I actually could, and I love him. He's always been great on Saturday Night Live, so I've always liked him. You don't see a lot of Steve Lombard. If they're talking about this Jimmy Olsen spinoff, I hope that they put the entire effing bullpen in the series, because I would watch the hell out of it. I thought they were all fantastic. This is the cosplay I want to do, by the way. I'm going to work on that one.
Work on the costume or yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have to lose about 15 pounds, but I want to. That's the costume I think I'd like to do, the Superman Rebirth costume.
Well, make sure you send pictures. I'm sure we'll see them. Mr. Terrific, he's awesome.
So good. Smart, cocky, capable. I loved everything about him. I thought he was great. They did a fantastic job with him. True to the comics, arrogant, but smart, arrogant. Didn't give a crap about people's feelings. Just wanted to go and prove that he's smarter than everybody else and fuck some shit up.
Do you know what was really weird in the showing that I went to go and see? He got the most amount of cheers.
He was good, man.
He's like a fan favorite, but he was amazing in it. And then we've got Perry White, which he is an amazing actor. But three words that describe him in this film for you.
Gruff, fair, and supportive. Backed his staff. He was like, is that on the roof? Let's go do that, and off they went.
Great scene. That is a great scene. When how many seats? And then we've got Hawk Girl there.
Screechy.
I completely agree.
Combative and chill. Because the Hall of Justice scene. Listen, if you haven't seen this movie, I'm not spoiling anything. Look at the mural. Look up at the mural in the Hall of Justice. That's all I'm going to say. Look up at the mural in the Hall of Justice. That's the end on that. She was great. Just goddamn screeching.
I know. I just don't. I didn't get it. I didn't get why. It literally. It was like fingertips on a chalkboard for me. I just hated it.
They did the close-ups of her face, and she's like.
I love that. Someone's put. Can you put a pickup of the squirrel? I've got to say that is an amazing scene, and I don't want to ruin it for people. But you know what? You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I quite like this character. I thought he did it very, very well. I thought the character arc of his story in the film, because you didn't know where it was going.
He finds his strength. He finds his strength at the end. I mean, Rex Mason, you can't compare him to a lot like the cartoons. If you watched him in the cartoons, Rex Mason's a very different character. But they did a lot of real. I mean, his costume was all prosthetics.
Yeah,
but the effects were great with him. And he finds his balls at the end of the movie. So
yeah,
more than 3 words, but fuck it.
And then we've got the engineer.
They got a Venezuelan actress to play a Venezuelan super villain, whatever. Yeah. Great. They made her powers realistic, and again, it's hard not to spoil stuff, but still, like even at the end, Soup still tries, man. He
Yeah.
still tries. And she was good. She was, the guy wrote some strong female characters in this, and I feel like that was like even like Joss Whedon did not write strong female
No.
characters, and that's a whole nother
No.
fucking show.
No.
But
And for this film, every character was strong as each other. Do you know what I mean? There weren't any background characters. Everyone was as important as each other, including robot number 4.
Gary, I'll say it, Gary. I don't give a shit. It's Gary.
Gary.
He was great. That's Alan Tudyk, man. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
people like, James Gunn keeps putting the same freaking people in all of his movies.
Because of good.
Ron Howard put his brother Clint in every damn movie that he's made. Adam Sandler employs all of his boys and girls to be in all the movies with him. So you know what? Alan Tudyk is not only a great actor, but he's also a great voice actor. So I am okay with this. And yes, he did wind up putting his wife in. Gunn put his wife in the movie as well. But the one person who you didn't really get to see a lot of was Cat Grant. Cat Grant and Ron Troop was like in the background characters. So maybe if they do the show, let's see some more of them.
And funnily enough, over the weekend, I spent some time with Pom Clementif, and the only time I saw her smile was when I asked her about Superman, because she had a little grin on her face, because I said that about her being, I think she's which robot is it? It's not 12, is it?
I don't remember which number.
I'll have to have a look at that because I thought she was 12. I said that to her. She smiled, so I don't know if that was right or what. But thank you so much for everyone watching. It's been a great chat.
Thanks, guys.
Everyone needs to go out and buy your tickets, show your support. The movie is doing amazing. It's had amazing opening day. 120 million, I think, dollars it is, and it's set to have over a $200 million weekend.
Well,
which
let's hope so, bro. I'm not going to count their chickens before they're hatched, but we're so far. I think they said it's 120 million dollars worldwide now. So
yeah,
I think between Thursday, Friday, the pre-sales. So I'm super excited about it. Gunn said that he's not looking for $1 billion to make it successful. So I'm hoping that they keep it as is. I'm hoping that we just keep on rolling.
Yeah. And are you looking forward to the Supergirl movie next year?
Supergirl movie, Peacemaker season 2, Lanterns, Clayface. I'm looking forward to all of them. He said that all of them are going to have a different style. Clayface is going to be more of a horror movie.
Yeah, R-rated. Yeah. I mean, if this is the start of the new DC universe, I think we're going to be in safe hands. I think they're going to do better than they previously has done. And Peter Safran and James Gunn at the Q&A I was at clearly has a clear direction, and it's in safe hands. And I hope everyone enjoys it. Go and see it. Take the family. Let us know your thoughts. Comment on this video.
Folks, don't listen. Even on Bryan's pages where people have been shredding the crap out of him, don't listen to the negative reviews. Be your own person. Watch it yourself. Go make your own opinions about this stuff, right? Go with if you're a Superman fan, go see it. Even if you were just a Henry Cavill fan and Snyderverse fan, go see it. You might like it. You never know. Don't go by what everyone else is saying.
And if you don't like it, that's fine, because not everyone likes it. And yeah, I mean, I think a comment in the actual film is something about your actions, your decisions and actions make you who you are, and I think that Superman does stand for some amazing things, and I think that everyone needs to be kind, but it doesn't upset me. It's not going to stop me because I'll keep being me. I'll keep being super. And Mike, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone watching. If you are watching, don't forget to hit subscribe and like and all that jazz. And very, very soon I'll be having Christopher Gerard and Dean Cain on the show. Gerard Christopher. I was doing it like alphabet. Yeah. It's been a long day. I've been at work all day, Mike. It's not like the afternoon for you. 9 o'clock at night, but I was up quite early in the morning.
Bedtime. I think in my pajamas already. So
it will after this.
I got it.
It will after this. Right, I'm going to end the stream. Don't go anywhere, Mike. I'll speak to you in a second. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the other side.